zone.
What up, players? It's the morning after with Nick and Big J. Welcome to Friday, Big J. We made it another week, dude.
Yeah! Ah!
You're crying.
Yeah. No, alligator tears. I don't even know what that means. I regret saying it.
You just heard the phrase and you wanted to parrot
Yeah.
it for some reason?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it actually, kind of fits. Alligator tears, meaning you're not really upset about anything.
No,
You're just putting up this big facade to make people think you're emotional. It's what psychopaths
I'm
do.
tired. Go to hell. Now I'm tired. I'm ready for the week to be over.
Well, we're almost there.
I'm going into hibernation.
You told me. That's the first thing you said to me.
Oh, man.
You're
I didn't want to get it's just the bed was so comfortable and it's cold. It's the actual first frozen day. Like, I had to defrost my car. I'm like, ugh.
It's good to be winter, pally.
Yeah. I need a bowl of chili and then to go to sleep for the winter.
Well, let's get through these next 4 hours and then you can do whatever you want, okay?
Oh, no, I have other stuff.
So, welcome to Friday. If I may, Big J, I'd like to open up the show today by wishing my youngest son, Cash, a very happy birthday.
Yeah!
14 years old today. God willing, he's still sleeping himself, but it certainly is an honor and privilege to be your father, and it's one of my favorite things in the entire world, as you are, and I cannot wait to spend some time together today and celebrate your birthday and have a fantastic time. Happy birthday. I love you very, very much.
Hey, happy birthday, little man.
He's a good dude and thorough, and I'm very excited to hang out with him on his birthday. So happy birthday, Cashers. We're very excited and proud of you. And in that particular vein, Big J, I'm very excited and proud of this very show we have planned today, too.
Good. Somebody is.
We have a Song of the Week, courtesy of Big J, on our agenda today. We will have to do some We're Going to Hell action. Another clue in the X-Rock murder mystery will come your way. It's 7:30 this morning. Nobody solved it yesterday. I think at this point we've got the city nailed down. So there's that action. Now we just got to figure out what's next. And so that's part of the clue that's going to come your way at 7:30 this morning. We have tickets to a sold-out Dayseeker show tomorrow night at the Knitting Factory Concert House. That's going to be given away over the course of the program a couple of times over today. And, of course, Big J will have a lot of fun and cool little things planned, kind of like side note interjections that he's famous for across the world.
I have no plans for that.
Oh, come on.
Sorry,
you just did
dude.
one. That's what you just did now. It's exactly what we're looking for.
Great.
So,
I can do that.
It should be a good Friday show, and then we go ahead and play music on top of it. Let's get started with some Green Day. Time of Your Life, kicking off the show on the X. Opening up its newest Treasure Valley location this very morning. It's less than a year after Idaho's first In-N-Out location opened up in Meridian, and it's still a very popular eating destination. The new location at the good old Boise Town Square Mall, Big J. And it will open up at 10:30 this morning officially. I do believe there is a line already to get in to be among the first served at this location. It's at the former site of the old Pier 1 import store. If you know where that is, they tore that whole thing down and then just straight up build up and In-N-Out there. 140 North Milwaukee Street, the official address. Now, this particular Boise location has one drive-through lane. It's got enough indoor seating for 74 guests. It's got a covered patio with some outdoor seating for additional 32 guests. Not sure how handy that'll come in over the course of the next couple months, but it's there if you want it. And as I don't have to tell you, Big J, all In-N-Out Burger locations open daily 10:30 a.m. to 1 a.m. And then on Friday and Saturday nights, they open late until 1:30 in the morning. And so it'll be a late night tonight for the very first opening of the Boise location for In-N-Out. And you and the family enjoy it very much. I'm sure you have popped at the Meridian location on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
This one too far away for you to go, or is this like maybe lunch on a day or two you have an opportunity to do that?
Well, I think they're... Okay, the Meridian one's just a little bit further away from the office than this one is. I mean, realistically.
Yeah, I think the Boise location is closer to this one. Than
not terribly, but it's on. The other one's on my way home. In fact, when I passed yesterday, there was hardly any line. Yeah. So we'll see what goes on. But I don't know. I don't go to that area of town much anymore.
No, why would you?
So
you're probably looking forward to the Nampa one more than anything.
Yes, that'll be great. But I wonder if it'll be as big and long of lines for this opening because we have the other one now.
Well, anytime an In-N-Out opens, you have the enthusiasts that go out of their way to be at a brand new location to eat there. So I do believe it will be very popular at the beginning. But as you know, it doesn't matter when you go to In-N-Out. There's always some sort of line. And so that's going to be a thing. But obviously, I believe it will relieve some of the stress that's at the Meridian location and has been over the last couple of months. So I think that'll even things out a little bit. But I do expect you to probably have to wait a little bit. But, that's the thing about In-N-Out. You're kind of in and out fairly quickly if they get it down right. Now, this one has a little bit more of a challenge getting in the actual location than the Meridian location has. So,
yeah.
But they have a plan. They've got it all flagged out and figured out. So we will see how it all comes together. And we know this. It's very popular. And it will continue to be no matter what. So enjoy your second In-N-Out Burger location, Treasure Valley. Enjoy the first one here in Boise. Speaking of Boise, number 17, Boise State on the road this very evening, taking on 6-1 UNLV, a couple of undefeated teams in the Mountain West battling for first place in the conference. Kickoff is going to happen at 8:30 tonight on the CBS Sports Network. It is, of course, from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. Of course, it's indoors, so you don't have to worry that much about weather, but what we do have to worry about is Big J's final score prediction. What do you think?
Yeah, the over-under on this is 64.5, and I think they get smashed because I think there's going to be some garbage time points at the end of the game on UNLV's part because Broncos will probably have a pretty big lead going into the fourth quarter. I'm going to say Broncos 54, UNLV 34.
Okay, all right. 54-34. Do you know what the spread is? It says here
3.5.
That's it?
Yeah. Well, UNLV has put up some pretty good numbers. They've done pretty good this year, and Coach Spencer Danielson thinks they should be ranked. And so he's coming into with a tremendous amount of respect. But I just think this Broncos team is better than I've probably given them credit for, just because of past, the last couple years, the inconsistency. They've been nothing but consistent going in this year. And Spencer Danielson has been a fantastic coach. So I think they meet this challenge and crush it.
Okay.
Tonight. So.
Yeah, UNLV was ranked for a week, and then they lost, and so they fell out of the top 25. But they are a pretty good football team and been playing pretty well. So we'll see how it all comes together. Tonight's a pretty big game if you are a Mountain West fan, so you can check it out on CBS Sports Network. Unless, of course, you're headed to Vegas to check out the game. Is that what you're doing this weekend?
That game is happening at Allegiant Stadium. No, I'm not getting on a plane after the show and going to the game tonight.
Just making sure.
I'm not that diehard, I guess.
It's the season for Hallmark Christmas movies, Big J. They are everywhere you look, and now there's controversy.
Oh, no.
There is a former Hallmark casting director, 79-year-old Penny Perry.
I'm an old man.
That has filed a lawsuit against the network executives, basically saying that they are ageist and harassing talent when it comes to these Hallmark movies. The casting director says she was told to replace quote-unquote older talent like those people over the age of 40, specifically Lacey Chabray, who of course is in Party of Five, and then Holly Robinson Peete, who is 60 years old. And she says that she was personally fired for being too old herself, and they wanted to cast younger people in these Hallmark movies. And she felt like the star power and the fact that they have a bunch of movies underneath their belt and are really good and people tune in was enough. And they are saying that they're ageist against Hallmark movies. Big J, what do you think?
Well, that's Hollywood in general.
Yeah, it doesn't make it right, though.
Right, but I mean, so of course it is. Of course it's ageist.
You're not surprised that they don't want to cast them? Well, I mean, Hallmark seems like it's one of those movies or channels that can get away with casting whoever they want because it's more about the theme of Christmas than it is anything else, and you're going to attract viewers no matter who is in it. And I would think you would go for names over anything else, personally, in that particular world.
Well, you're not a jerk Hollywood elitist.
Well, give me some time. I'm working on it.
Okay, well.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. There is your first round of important stuff. It is the X Rocks. That is Dorothy. That is Mud here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Big J, you know all about branding, how difficult it is to build a brand from the ground up. You've been doing the Big J thing for 25 years. It's not something that comes easy, right?
No.
There's a lot of things that go into making sure what you do sticks, and then sometimes you build a brand that catches on and has a really nice little corner of the marketplace, but you're not exactly happy how maybe exclusive that particular brand has become. Does that make sense?
Sure, I guess.
Enter Goldfish crackers, Big J. You're familiar with them, I am sure.
Yeah.
What do you think of when you think Goldfish crackers?
Dry mouth.
Anything else?
Tasteless.
When it comes to audiences, how about that?
Oh, kids.
Okay, there you go. Perfect.
Kids and old people.
This is exactly the problem that Pepperidge Farm has. Goldfish crackers are incredibly popular. And they come in all sorts of different flavors. There's pretzels, there's cheddar. Those are the most famous, of course. There's regular cracker flavor. There are Parmesan. There are actually sweet and savory, all sorts of different crackers. But they feel like they have basically kind of cornered themselves into the children-only market because of the way they do it. Now, listen, I've seen the Goldfish Crackers commercials. They're marketing to kids. This is what they want to do. It makes sense. So what they're trying to do is attract more grown-up people to the brand, and that's exactly what they're trying to do, because for a limited time, they're changing their name. They will not be known as Goldfish Crackers in the stores for a limited time. They've decided to change their name to Chilean sea bass crackers to try to attract an older audience. This is not a joke.
This looks delicious. Chilean sea bass crackers.
They want to go for an upper echelon, I guess a little bit more audience, more adult people, and we're more likely, I guess, to try something that says, ooh, Chilean sea bass. That sounds upscale, as opposed to Goldfish. The shape and the actual taste of the fish will remain the same. The company said in a statement that the much more adult name is intended to reinforce that Goldfish Crackers are not just for kids, and they also hope it will lead to a little bit more of an improvement in sales, and we'll see what ends up happening. The sales apparently have been floundering lately, Big J. Do you get it? Do you understand the fish joke that I made?
I get it.
And so will Chilean sea bass crackers make you try the product again?
No.
Okay. Because it sounds...
I didn't actually care for them to begin with.
No, I could tell by the way you described them you weren't a fan.
Yeah.
But, so they could be called Big J crackers. You probably wouldn't try it.
No. No, thank you.
As a matter of fact, you probably sue.
I have no patent on that, nor copyright. So
no, there's lots of other Big J's out there, I suppose. But if you maybe are embarrassed to go to the store and buy Goldfish crackers, maybe you'll feel a little bit better when Chilean sea bass crackers are in your cart. Sure. I mean, maybe if you don't have any kids, it feels weird when you buy Goldfish crackers because it's a kid's product. I don't know. I don't have these feelings, but apparently some people might.
Weird.
I'm not here to judge. I buy Goldfish crackers with no shame whatsoever. I enjoy them. And my kids love them. And so that's why I buy Goldfish crackers. You will always find Goldfish crackers in my house. 100%. Although personally, Big J, if I'm buying them, I go for the extreme flavor, as those have a little bit more cheese.
Extreme!
Yeah, it even says so in the font and everything. It's pretty intense. Morning After with Nick and Big J. Your week is not complete until you get Big J's Song of the Week. That's happening next on the X Rocks. Got some tool for you, Schism, here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Every single Friday, Big J selects a song for you to listen to that's supposed to kick off your weekend, getting the blood flowing a little bit. First, we find out the what, then we find out the why. What's your song today, Big J?
Some five-finger death punch. It's never enough.
All right, here we go. It's Big J's Song of the Week on the X. Here's Big J's Song of the Week. That is Five Finger Death Punch, Never Enough, here on the Morning After with Nick and Big J. Hey, Big J, what you picking that song for, dude?
Oh, well, aside from a line, chalk lines drawn in the concrete, one of the greatest lines ever. It makes us laugh every time. Love it. Five Finger Death Punch, Nick, they get some hate every now and then, and we never really understand it because they're really good dudes, and the ups and downs that they've had is been well documented. But, you know, the guys, they always do something special when they go to towns. They usually have first responders come, and they do meet and greets with them, and they usually have some sort of charitable function. And, you know, bands have been doing this for a long time. Metallica has been doing it for decades now. They've only started recently to be taking credit for that and then handing over money from their tours. Five Finger Death Punch is doing this as well. And they've donated over $200,000 this year from ticket sales of their North American tour. And they handpicked a couple of great charities. Ivan picked Covenant House, and that's dedicated to helping homeless, trafficked, and exploited youth and young families. So that's a really great cause. And just amazing that they don't need to do that, but they feel like it's something they need to do. And Zoltan, our good buddy, he has donated to the Call of Duty Endowment. Now that helps veterans find high-quality careers by supporting groups that prepare them for the job market after their service in the branches of military that they're in. So two really worthy causes from a band who gets a lot of hate but does a lot of great things when they come to town.
Yeah, good for them, man.
Yeah.
Again, you're right. It's above and beyond. Nobody's asking them. Nobody's making them do it. This is just something they decide to do. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and at the same time, and you can enjoy all the fun that is Five Finger Death Punch. Just in general.
Yeah, just in general. And you can follow Zoltan on Instagram like Big J and live vicariously through him in his life. That's like a video game character.
He is one of my favorite characters.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. There is your song of the week. Some important stuff on the way. Another clue in the X-Rock murder mystery as well. It's on the way on the X.
Important stuff.
What's going on in the news today?
The Morning After with Nick and Big J.
It's a tale as old as time, Big J.
Ah, yes.
Halloween is here. It's right around the corner for trick-or-treating. I saw some kids out there last night at some trunk-or-treat events in Meridian. It's a good time. You got a bunch of Halloween candy. Next thing you know, Big J, you don't have a bowel movement for 2 weeks.
Whoa, 2 weeks?
It happens to everybody.
No, it doesn't.
Huh?
It does not happen to everybody. That's unusual, and you should seek medical expertise.
Well, plenty of people have, which is why gastroenterologist Christopher Danman is to the rescue. He says that it's not necessarily just about bowel movements, but also, listen, you have too much candy, you can have an upset tummy. Oh, my tummy hurts. And so some sweets are better for your guts than others. And Halloween candy can disrupt the trillions of microorganisms that are in your belly. Sugar can impact your gut's ability to digest food. That's what has problems with bowel movements and all sorts of fun. So they want you to know what kind of candies and Halloween treats are good for your gut health so that you can continue staying regular, Big J. Well,
it's candy.
It's not necessarily true.
Oh.
Well, I mean, listen, it's better than others. We'll put it that way. Yes, you're right. If you want to have a wonderful gut, you should probably stay away from that stuff. But there are candies that are better than others. For instance, nuts that are sugar-coated, candy apples, things that have any kind of fiber in them, of course, are going to be better for your gut than if you just shovel down 15 snack-size Snicker bars into your stomach. It's just the way that that's going to go. Dark chocolate has at least, it maybe encourages some helpful bacteria to grow in your gut as well. But the worst offenders, anything chewy and gummy. These are usually made of high fructose corn syrup, saturated fat, additives. That's the stuff that messes with your gut and makes things really, really bad. That can lead to inflammation, and that's one of the least healthy Halloween choices. So, Big J, if you want to stay regular this Halloween, grab some apples, grab some sugar-coated nuts,
okay,
and then just spend the rest of the night in the bathroom. And you'll have the best Halloween
ever.
Maybe
put some candy corn in a spoon and melt it?
Yeah, inject it right into your eyelid. It's great.
Ah.
It's great. Don't do that, by the way. Big J, the Broncos have a game tonight on the road at UNLV at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. It's going to be a fun little matchup in the Mountain West. Both teams have really good records. Boise State 5-1, 2-0 in the Mountain West. UNLV 6-1, 2-0 in the Mountain West. Should be a pretty good crowd tonight. The Broncos are slightly favored in this matchup. Kickoff 8:30. Give us your final score prediction once again.
Let's go Broncos, 54-34.
And we will see if it comes out that way. We certainly will be cheering for that to be the case. And in between commercial breaks or whatever, maybe you're flipping around and you can check out Game 1 of the World Series as well. Dodgers will host the Yankees in that particular matchup. If you want yourself some baseball fever tonight, you certainly can do some of that. An unlikely hero, Big J, has emerged in the story behind what made John Wick one of the most popular movie franchises in the world over the last couple of years. They were talking about the making of the first John Wick, and if you don't remember, Keanu Reeves wasn't exactly a bankable action star at that particular point. He had some hits, but there was a little bit of lull between the Matrix and the John Wicks.
Listen, there was a downturn.
Yeah. And so they were filming this movie, and they were going to actually have to stop making it because they had some last-minute financing issues, and they were $6 million away from completion to the movie. They weren't going to be able to do that. So they were this close to not finishing John Wick, and it just never coming out. Yeah. Who came to the rescue? Eva Longoria, Big J. She saved the project, and even though she had some initial doubts, she put forward $6 million of her own money to be an executive producer on the film to help it get finished. And she says it's one of the best decisions and the best money she's ever spent, as it helped kickstart a franchise and became incredibly popular. But we never would have seen John Wick if not for Eva Longoria.
I wonder how much money she now has made off of that investment.
it's a good question because your bargaining power is pretty heavy if they're not going to make the movie unless you come with $6 million. So she could have asked for some sort of box office returns that were probably pretty high. Who knows?
Because let's think about it. I mean, that was like John Wick, the first movie, was like something people would try to put in a bottle now. But at the time, it was like you didn't know if this movie was going to hit or not.
Right.
I mean, and it took a minute even for it to really become super popular. And so, yeah, that is a huge gamble on her part. And that's like pretty much throwing away $6 million at a movie that might not end up performing. So that's crazy that she did that.
I mean, when you think about it, though, that's every Hollywood movie financing. I mean, unless they're part of a franchise, there has to be somebody that actually...
That's gambling, if you ask me, man.
Believes in the product and thinks it might do something and hopes to get a return on their investment, and that's what you do, because for every movie like John Wick, there's 22 others that just completely lose and they don't get any money back. And
in this oral article that they're doing their... kind of look back at John Wick 10 years now, I think, right? Mm-hmm. And Stilinski and the other director, I can't remember his name right now, but they were talking about how the executives, man, if it wasn't for studio executives, we might have really good movies. Because they were like just dead set against John Wick having a beard. They didn't want it. They didn't want to hide Keanu Reeves' pretty face.
Oh, yeah. Listen, that's the reason why we see all these Marvel superheroes out of their costume all the time is they pay the money to the actors. They want people to recognize the people behind them.
And they were like, no, this actually would work better this way. And they went ahead and did it anyways, despite all the people wanting him not to have a beard. And that sort of stuff is like bonkers to me. It's just bonkers. I can't imagine trying to have to be creative and going up against people who are idiots.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough when you
Hollywood
have a vision.
Executives are idiots.
But, again, there are some that save the day when it comes to stupid stuff. For everyone like that, there's also another story where some executive said, maybe we try this and it ends up working out.
Or they're like, maybe we just let them do their thing.
Yeah, it'd be nice. But that's not how movies get made. You know that as well as I do. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff. We have got another clue in the X-Rock murder mystery. It's on the way on the X-Rocks.
Stories that are incredibly f***ed up. Oh, man, we're going to hell.
Won't you join me in my own private hell?
The Morning After with Nick and Big J on 100.3 The X Rocks.
Come along with me, Big J. Come on home with me, buddy.
All right.
As we are headed to Milwaukee, Wisconsin for today's We're Going to Hell story.
Yeah, you were just there.
I was just there. As a matter of fact, this story takes place while I was there.
Is it you?
No, not guilty. But I would like you to be my +1 at the most Wisconsin wedding ever put together.
Oh, man. Got to be a lot of cheese and beer.
Guaranteed. But first of all, this story takes place on October 17th. So we have a wedding on a Thursday. Automatically one of the most Wisconsin things in the entire world.
Why?
Because saving yourself some money, bro. Why get married on a Saturday and Sunday when you can get the bowling alley for half the price on the Thursday?
Is that a bowling alley?
I don't know. I don't know. It was at a place called The Club in Lake LaBelle, which is a small town of Oconomowoc, has a wedding venue there. So I'm guessing it also probably doubles as a bowling alley if I know Wisconsin, like I think I do. And so, yes, it is definitely a Thursday night in Wisconsin, in Oconomowoc, which is right outside of Milwaukee. And the beer is flowing, the cheese is flowing, the nuptials are said, everybody's having a good time, and you know it's an open bar, bro. You understand?
Yeah, of course.
And so that means that when there is an open bar in Wisconsin, we are getting hammered. And there is
like a Big J wedding.
Dude there, yeah, it was. We got hammered at Big J's wedding, that is for sure. Nathan Lanzi is his name. He lives in Milwaukee. Nathan may have been overserved, Big J, much like a lot of people at the Big J wedding.
Was Josh the bartender?
I don't know. It does not say in the story who was the bartender. But I do know that Nathan started dancing on the dance floor at this particular wedding. And he may have gotten a little too handsy, okay? He inappropriately tried to get with one of the women that were at the wedding. They didn't like it, and they told him to knock it off. Nathan was just drunk enough that it started to become a scene, right? And so a couple of the gentlemen there started to stand up and say, hey, listen, the lady said that's enough, sir. It's time to go home. You're drunk. It's a Thursday. You probably have to work tomorrow. That's enough, dude. You've had enough. And so they get between him and the lady, and Nathan is still putting up a little bit of fight. You're not telling me what to do. I'm the boss of a Conwalk, whatever he may say. And so they start to get a little bit physical, Big J. And as one of the gentlemen tries to push Nathan away to get him off the dance floor, maybe even to kick him out of the venue, that is when Nathan go ahead and breaks out his chompers and grabs a hold of this gentleman's finger by his mouth and bites off his damn finger, Big J.
Jesus.
So now it's somebody's wedding. Nathan is there. Doesnn't say who's like if he's with the groom or he's with the bride. I don't know. All I know is all of a sudden there's blood all over the dance floor, right? Because this guy is now missing a finger. They somehow are able to subdue Nathan. He realizes that he did something wrong. He's sitting down now. He's hammered. He's got blood all over him. We've got a dude now officially missing a digit. And things are bad. This wedding is not good.
This is a regular Milwaukee, Wisconsin wedding.
It's a pretty average Thursday night in a Conwalk, I'm guessing. So the police show up and they find out what happens. They end up arresting Nathan, and now the idea here is to try to save this guy's finger, right? Here's the problem. Only part of it they could find. And so they go to Nathan, and he's so drunk that he says, quote, "I think I might have swallowed some of it, bro." And so now
pump his stomach.
He has ingested some, I don't know how much, of this gentleman's finger. And some of it is on ice, and they're able to reattach part of the finger, but not the whole thing, Big J. Some of this is just a lost cause. And so, yeah, about a inch and a half of this dude's finger bitten off at a wedding because he was trying to break up a fight with a highly intoxicated guy in Wisconsin. So this is what happens when you have a wedding on a Thursday night, man, and the bar is open. Watch out.
Mm-hmm.
It took about 18 or 19 stitches to reattach the part of the finger that they could. And Big J, the surgery not fully successful, so he's going to have a deformity for the rest of his life. Man. Meanwhile, Nathan is facing multiple charges. He's expected to be seen in court on December 13th. And I believe that's a wedding that everybody will never forget, no matter how hard they try.
Right.
And so a reminder that sometimes bad things happen at weddings. It's not all happiness and wonderful rainbows and unicorns, you know?
Sad.
Yeah. Lucky that didn't happen at the Big J wedding.
Maybe it did. We just haven't found out about it yet.
Good point. There were a lot of people there. You never know what happened, right? Lots of things could be happening behind the scenes. Right. I still have all my fingers, so I'm good.
Me too. Toes as well.
High five.
There we go.
All right. Yeah. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your We're Going to Hell story. It's the X Rocks.
Here's In Search of News. Important stuff.
Launch newsfeed.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
You're familiar with the company Lyft, yes, Big J?
Oh, yeah.
So they took data from about 14,000 different people in different places, and they came up with a study that found the top American cities for commuters. Now, these are the rankings where they took into effect the cost, the speed, the downtown vibrancy, the actual time of commutes, the amount of parking, how much it costs to park there, and they ranked the American cities that had the best commute for people that drive on the regular. And a city that we've been to a bunch is number one on that list, Big J. Any ideas?
Meridian?
No, it's not in Idaho. I'll tell you that.
Oh, okay. That we've been to a bunch?
We have.
It would have to be Columbus, Ohio.
That's 100% correct. Columbus, Ohio, top of the list because it's got short commute times and low parking costs. El Paso, Texas comes in at number 2. And then Las Vegas, Nevada comes in at number 3. Now, as far as the cheapest cities to be a commuter, we've also been here once on one of our road trips. Any guesses as to what that could be? I believe it's the city you like the least.
Oh, boy. I mean, that could be a bunch of cities. Let's go with somewhere in Kansas.
No. Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
One of the
dirty and gross
cheapest cities to be a commuter that has low parking and low fuel costs. So it tops the list as far as budgetary concerns. But Columbus, Ohio, overall, number 1. I tend to remember we never really had any problems getting around Columbus. I mean, leaving the stadium was the worst part of that particular commute.
Yeah, you're right.
So no complaints. I guess they've got it figured out there in Columbus. So congratulations to Columbus, Ohio. Speaking of college towns, your Boise State Broncos take on UNLV this very evening at 8:30 kickoff time in Las Vegas against the Rebels. Big J, your final score prediction once again?
54-34 Broncos.
Broncos favored by 3.5 in this matchup. And, of course, it's inside, so you don't have to worry about the weather. It's on CBS Sports Network if you'd like to watch the game and you don't plan on making the trek over to Vegas. Also have Game 1 of the World Series tonight. Keep an eye on outfielder Taylor Trammell. He's officially a player for the New York Yankees, but he is in a very rare win-win situation. No matter what team wins the World Series, Big J, he will get a World Series ring because he played 5 games with both teams in the World Series this year and suited up for both the Dodgers and the Yankees. And traditionally, any player that played a single game for a team, if they win a championship, gets a World Series ring. So no matter what, he will get one, whether he is on the winning team of the Yankees or the Dodgers win the World Series
You think that's a good rule?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you're definitely part of the story. Sure.
Yeah.
I've got no problem with it. And so, traditionally teams will also give, rings to people that aren't on the field, the front office people, the broadcast team, all that kind of stuff. Anybody that's part of the team.
Randy was 1 year too late, man.
This close to a Super Bowl ring. Didn't quite get
God,
it.
the way he would lord that over us. Though.
Oh, are you kidding me? He'd be on display almost constantly. And
I'd be so jealous.
I would be too. I'll be honest. I would be too.
That'd be super cool.
20th Century Studios head Steve Asbell revealed in a new interview that with director Dan Trachtenberg, who made a hit with the Predator franchise revival Prey that was on Hulu.
Great movie.
Yes, and the upcoming Predator Badlands will also release another top-secret Predator movie before Badlands hits theaters next year because he didn't want to do a Prey 2. And so they're like, okay, what do you want to do? And they rattled off a bunch of ideas that were really crazy but cool, and they actually did 2 of them. So both are coming out next year. Can't say anything about it yet, apparently, but we know now that we'll have 2 Predator movies coming out next year by the same guy who did Prey, which means I'm on board, I think.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Prey was probably the best Predator movie outside of the origin story of the actual.
Yeah, I liked it. I wouldn't go. So I loved Predator too. So.
You did, yeah. That's
Loved
not
it.
so much on my radar. But listen, I
people are wrong.
I respect your opinion.
I don't respect you.
I know that's very clear. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your important stuff. We got your pop culture smackdown. It's next on the X.
Here's traffic.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Yeah, man, we got a sold-out show tomorrow night at the Knitting Factory. Dayseeker, Alpha Wolf, to name a couple of the bands are going to be there. It's going to be huge. So we have a few pairs left here for you to get your hands on. Only ones left around, brothers and sisters. How about you beat me in Pop Culture Smackdown for them? Let's go.
Big J, who am I? I am but a man on a never-ending quest to find something called the sun.
You're a Dayseeker.
That's right. 208-287-1003 is the number you need to call if you'd like tickets to Dayseeker. All you have to do is defeat Big J in a game called Pop Culture Smackdown. Can you do it? Do you have what it takes? Will Big J take a knee against you in a battle of pop culture knowledge? I don't know. We will have to see. Big J, are you ready?
I don't bend the knee.
All right, man. What is this, Game of Thrones? Hello. Oh,
See?
cowards. Hello, the X.
How's it going?
How you doing, man? What's your name?
Ryan.
All right, Ryan, you're up first. Ryan, the movie The Shawshank Redemption was based on a short story by what very famous author?
Oh, man. I have no idea.
Oh, no! Wrong. Big J, you know this one, yes?
No.
You don't?
I don't think so. I have a guess there.
Hello, the X.
Hi.
Hi. Yes, ma'am. The movie The Shawshank Redemption was based on a short story by what very famous author?
Oh, God. It's my favorite movie, too. God, I can't think of the author's name. God, I can't think of it.
Oh, no.
That's Nick's favorite movie, too.
It is. And I know. I wrote this question. I know the answer. Hello, the X.
Of course you would.
Hey.
Hey, the movie The Shawshank Redemption, it was based on a short story by what very famous author?
Stephen King.
Yes, that is 100% correct. Right. Stephen King. Big J.
Not C.S. Lewis. Weird.
No, not C.S. Lewis.
Okay,
He
that
did
was
the
my guess.
Chronicles of Narnia. Big J, the Batman villain Mr. Freeze has what first name?
August. Is it Augusta?
Wrong. No.
No? Wrong. Okay, I thought it was.
What's the matter, Big J? Brain freeze?
No, I don't remember. Listen, I've tried to forget everything about Mr. Freeze in that entire movie.
Well, listen, he's also a comic book character.
yeah,
He's been
but
around for
I mean,
decades.
I never wasn't a comic book nerd.
All right.
So
fair enough. That means you are the victor, sir. Do you happen to know the answer?
Victor.
Yes, that is right.
Wait, did he say Victor?
Yes, it's Victor Freeze.
Victor, yeah.
Yes, Victor.
Freeze.
Yes, that is correct. Well done. Congratulations.
Everything's cold.
Day Seeker tickets are yours. Please hold on and make sure you are good to go for that show on Saturday.
Oh, what a terrible show.
There's your Pop Culture Smackdown. Thank you very much for playing along. We will do a run of headlines. They are next on the X Rocks. That is Rise Against, and that is a little song we like to call Savior here on The Morning After with Nick and Big J. Always something happening at the lounge at the end of the universe, and that is why we talk to really wonderful people like Coral from the lounge at the end of the universe, who has made her way in this morning to talk about some cool things. How are you, Coral?
Good morning. I'm so excited to be here. It is Jen's 50th birthday today.
Big 5-0.
Yeah, happy birthday, bitch.
I sent her a text this morning, and I know I didn't hear from her. And I'm like, good, you're celebrating your birthday the way you should in bed. That's good to sleep in for sure.
Yeah, this time no Rochambeau needed.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, so I imagine, it's probably a big party weekend for Jen as she enjoys her birthday, right?
It is. We have all sorts of people coming out of the woodwork for her 50th. So it's a good reason to get people together and have a good time and, just share all the love. And, people don't celebrate their birthdays enough. People are always just like, oh, I'll let it go or, not plan anything. It's like, no, you made it another rotation. Like, celebrate it. You're still here.
I like that vibe.
Yeah.
That's good. That's very good. And I know that, as you guys continue to have your fun at the lounge at the end of the universe, that there are a bunch of shows kind of coming up that we want to make sure people are aware of that they have a good time at as well, right?
Oh, yeah. We have a great one coming up. I guess it seems like I keep losing track of time. Like, days don't matter anymore.
Right, yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
I guess it's about 2 weeks from now, week and a half. Wednesday, November 6th, we have Minka coming into town, and I'm so excited. Like, we book them every time they're near. We're like, oh, you're going to be sick within 60 miles? Come.
Yeah.
And they're so much fun. Ari and his gang, like, they have so much stage presence. And, it's like if Prince and David Bowie had a love child, that's what this would be. There's so much synth and keyboard and, dancing. It is definitely a show you don't want to miss. Like,
it's definitely a vibe. Like they have the whole like theatrical production kind of to it as well. They have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Like they act like it is a grand amphitheater every time that they perform. It doesn't matter if they're in a little hole in the wall or not. So
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You can grab your tickets to that if you'd like at loungeboise.com. You can grab and see some upcoming shows. And then as we get into the month of November, the comedy calendar starts to open up a little bit as well. And they get to have some really cool people like Miles Weber's coming into town that coming weekend after the Minka show. So I know that's going to be a good one because he's got a pretty solid following as well.
Yeah, we have a whole lineup. So you'll have one chance to see him. 2 shows, but one night. So he's going to be here November 9th. And then we also have some flamenco dancers coming in on the 14th. That's going to be a 7 o'clock show. It's the Idaho Alliance of Flamenco Dancers. So, and they are just phenomenal. Like their footwork and they just bring in, they such high energy. I love them. And like the dresses and the costumes are amazing. Like,
and again, it kind of showcases the variety of shows that you guys can have at the lounge. You go from a really cool kind of upbeat dance band one night, 2 nights later, you're doing a comedy show. And a couple nights later, you got flamenco dancing going on at the lounge.
And then the hard bodies.
Yeah, I was going to say it gets even better.
Don't forget them.
Because we have a male review show coming up as well right after that. So that's going to be the 16th. And that is going to be, we're adding a little bit of zhuzh to it. So it's not going to be just, like dicks in your face all the time.
Right.
It's going to have some class. It's going to be something you want to bring your mom to, or maybe your boyfriend, because you're going to have some fun and there's going to be some dancing and whatnot.
Jen, we were told you were coming in for your birthday.
Good morning, surprise.
Happy birthday.
Well, now that I'm 50, I just naturally wake up at 5 and I want eggs at, the egg factory.
And then you go to dinner at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, and then bed at 4:50.
Yes, early bird style. I get it. congratulations. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I have parent-teacher conferences this morning, which I totally forgot until thank goodness I set the alarm. I was like, oh, no, there's stuff to do.
Yeah.
It's not about me anymore. You know how that goes.
Yep.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about the Lounge at the End of the Universe. Have you heard of it?
No.
Oh, it's a great venue.
That?
You love it. You love it.
I actually spent 10 hours there yesterday cleaning up renovation because we're renting. I heard you talking about Minka, my favorite band. I was just watching a video clip of Ari dressed in furry satyr pants. And sometimes he has like glitter wings.
Yeah.
They're over the top with their performances. You should come. It's going to be a fun show.
I love it. I love the idea. But yeah, we were talking about just the variety of shows that you guys have planned for the month of November, and it's pretty intense. So congratulations for all that you guys do. And I know it's been a trying couple of weeks, but you continue to power through and do what you guys do. And I can't imagine it's been easy, but that kind of gives into the kind of people that you are and the kind of effort and work that you put into things.
Thank you. I did want to talk about Miles Weber's show coming up.
Yeah.
November 9th, he's doing 2 shows. It is a 90s themed comedy show.
Okay.
So if you were a 90s kid, dress 90s. The whole thing is to totally dress up. I guess dust off those Junko jeans if you have those.
Yeah.
Can we have a costume contest?
Yeah, let's do that.
Keep it going in November.
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah.
I love
Let's do it November 9th. We should have a good prize, though.
Maybe overalls with like one of the things not connected.
Yes.
Right? That was
yes.
a 90s
yeah.
thing?
That was
If you
definitely
wanna
90s
wear-
thing.
I mean,
Belle Biv
depending on
DeVoe
especially
style?
what kind of music you were into, for me, I would definitely have worn the overalls like that, and then maybe a pair of glasses with like a condom in one of the eyes as well.
TLC?
Yes,
Sure.
exactly, for sure.
I like the idea. See, you're brainstorming as you come on the radio for cool things that you guys can do.
Coral's great for that.
I love it. But if you want more information on any of the shows that we talked about, you can check out loungeboise.com. You can have tickets to all of the upcoming events to make sure you don't miss a single thing that happens at the Lounge at the End of the Universe. Happy birthday again, Jen. Thanks for breaking your ass coming up here and being on the show.
I ran up the stairs and I was like, I'm going to
you were
die.
down the hall.
Here's the thing. At 50, you're doing pretty good because I would have been like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to talk because I've been hyperventilating.
And Coral, thank you for coming in as well. It's always
Always
good
a
to see you.
pleasure.
Morning After with Nick and Big J. Some headlines next.
Real things that really happened. Really? It's headlines on the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Big J, I present to you the following headlines. Grand theft cart. Dad, where'd you go? And take that.
Dad, where'd you go?
Thomas Rice is a gentleman that lives in North Carolina. Unfortunately, his blue 2016 Ford F-150 truck was taken Sunday morning in Syracuse, New York. What was Thomas Rice in North Carolina doing in Syracuse, New York, Big J?
That's a great question.
He was picking up his father's ashes and in the process of transporting the remains back to North Carolina so he could dispose of them and scatter them the way he wanted to. Unfortunately, when his truck was stolen, right there in the passenger seat were his father's remains as well. Now, it appears the person or people that ended up stealing the car realized that, oh my God, we got human remains right here.
So they weren't in a Ralph's coffee can.
Oh, no, they were correctly stored, yes.
All right.
The car was abandoned about a mile away from where it was taken, and the ashes were still safely inside the vehicle. Rice's family will now have their ceremony for the deceased 92-year-old in November. And Rice said that his dad was a pretty adventurous guy, and they had some interesting things planned for his eulogy. And now, even after he passed away, he had one more adventure in store. So it was fitting that everything was okay with his dad. But good news is, Dad's back where he belongs and everything's all right. And people shouldn't steal cars, Big J. It's a good lesson right there, too.
Right.
While we're at it. Grand theft cart or take that?
Let's keep with the theme, man. Grand theft cart.
Ontario, Canada has an issue. There are disappearing golf carts everywhere. Courses all over Canada are reporting that these golf carts are just missing. And now they're told they're being sold on the black market. On Wednesday of this week, York police announced that 4 people have been arrested in connection with this golf cart theft. And during one mid-October raid, officials found 38 golf carts, a bunch of rare Pokemon and Magic the Gathering trading cards. And so they feel like, I don't know, were they souping up these golf carts for Pokemon Go?
Weird. Yeah, I guess.
And selling them on the black market? I don't know. GPS tracking helped police find some of the stolen merchandise. The thieves forgot to turn off the units that were attached to the actual...
Now that's some advanced golf carting right there.
I think they knew a bunch were being taken, and so they decided to do this. Despite the recent arrest, officials do believe even more thieves could be involved. There's a huge, gigantic golf cart stealing ring happening in Canada, and they want to get down to the bottom of it, Big J. So find themselves a Mountie and get to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I mean, golf carts I know aren't cheap. I've never bought one, but I've also never had one in private ownership that I've need to use around. You ever have any interest for a souped-up golf cart?
Sure.
Driving around your subdivision in Middleton and that thing?
There's like a couple people that... Well, now people use razors and all those, side-by-side vehicles to do that stuff, but there's a couple people that actually have a golf cart that roll around.
I live right by Lakeview, so there's a ton of golf carts that are around my area as well, so I understand.
When we went to Belize and we were staying on San Pedro Island, that's the only way you get around is golf cart.
Yeah, you had the Big J golf cart.
Yeah.
It took you from point A to point B. Did they take that restrictor cap off that thing so you could drive around pretty fast?
Some of them are going around pretty fast.
Love it. Wrap it up with Take That. A farmer in England is in deep trouble after he took the law into his own hands, and a quad bike, by the way, to deal with a couple of trespassers on his land when 52-year-old Neil Greenwood spotted a couple of 17-year-old kids on his land. He opted not to report them to police. Instead, he crept up behind them, tackled them to the ground, and then he hogtied them and strapped them down to his quad bike, one on the front and one on the back, and then he drove them 4 miles to the nearest police station while they were hogtied to turn them in. But when officers came outside, Big J, they arrested Greenwood and charged him with false imprisonment and assault. Nobody was injured. Nobody wanted to just press charges. Everybody was terrified. So apparently you can't do your own vigilante justice, Big J. It's not okay.
Yeah, no, they don't allow that.
That would suck. I bet you that was a long 4-mile ride, man, when you're hogtied on the back of a quad or on the front of a quad.
Yeah.
No,
like
thank
a dead deer.
No, thank you. And I don't think, I mean, it doesn't say they were gagged or anything, so they're probably like screaming and like all around. Yeah, it was like a Grand Theft Auto mission. Morning After with Nick and Big J. There's your headlines. You're officially up to date on everything. Your bad impressions? Oh man, they're next on the X.
So far, I'm not impressed.
On the Morning After with Nick and Big J.
Yeah, let's hook you up with some tickets. Sold out show tomorrow night at the Knitting Factory. Dayseeker, Alpha Wolf, to name a couple of the bands. It's going to be a great night there. We'll get you set up with those tickets. You just have to figure out bad impressions here, and it should be a fun one.
All right. 208-287-1003. That is our phone number if you'd like to play bad impressions, which works like this. Big J has 3 clues. They all revolve around somebody pretty famous. If you can figure out who that famous person is in 3 clues or less, congratulations, it's you. It's you going to that sold-out Dayseeker show tomorrow night at the Knitting Factory.
And a friend.
Yeah. I mean, you can bring a friend, a loved one, a coworker, a bitter enemy, and maybe you kind of bury the hatchet and you become best friends over Dayseeker. It's weird how that can work sometimes. Music can heal, Big J. You laugh.
That's true. That's true.
Is it a famous person today?
Yeah.
Wonderful. 208-287-1003. If you'd like to play, to the phones we go. Hello, the X.
How's it going?
Good, man. What's up? You're up first. Good luck.
I had my own lifestyle brand and magazine called Living. I might just be the first influencer.
Okay, next one.
I'm dead now, thanks to the murder mystery.
Yeah.
I went to federal prison for securities fraud.
Martha Stewart.
Yeah, it's Martha.
You knew the jail time was going to give it away. Well done, sir. Hang on 1 second. We'll hook you up with those Dayseeker tickets for tomorrow night at the Knitting Factory. Enjoy that show. What was clue 3?
Snoop Dogg and I are best friends. Strange bedfellows, as one would say.
And why is Martha Stewart in the news?
The Netflix, excuse me.
Oh, no. Oh, God. It's a nightmare.
I'm Joe Kenda. The trailer just dropped for Netflix's Martha documentary, not a series, that's coming out October 30th. And the director says, quote, Martha's story has been told a lot, but it's never been told by Martha. The director spent a lot of time with her, 15 days, 5 days of 8-hour on-camera interviews. So this is going to cover all of her stuff from the development of her brand to the time she went to prison and all of that stuff, including a bunch of tidbits and secrets like affairs and things like that.
Okay. I got a question for you because my memory's not what it used to be. I just know her as this entirely famous entity that had her own magazine. What made her famous at the beginning? Did she have a talk show or something? What was it that brought her on the scene?
Well, it was. Well, I guess you would call it a blog, maybe, or
is that
whatever.
What it was?
I think something like that. And then she, I don't know exactly.
I remember the magazine was a big deal back when magazines were a thing.
I mean, that's how she ended up becoming a billionaire,
right?
Pretty much.
Well, and then she had to deal with Target, so her clothes were everywhere. She had that whole lifestyle brand as well. I was just trying to remember. I was trying to remember how she became Martha Stewart, and I don't remember how that kind of bridge got crossed.
By being artsy and fartsy.
I guess so. But you're a fan, right?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of want to check this out.
I bet you will. I used to. You remember when she was a judge on Chopped for a while?
Yeah, man. She would dabble in some of those, and it would be a lot of fun. Yeah. And people were scared of her.
I'm scared of her. Morning After with Nick and
Open
Big
invitation.
J. Yeah, come on the show, Martha. Cure me of my fears.
Martha.
We will wrap up the show here next on the X Rocks.
Hey, everyone.
On her birthday, and talking about what's happening at the lounge at the end of the Universal Lounge, Boise.com for more information about any of those shows or for tickets to those shows that we ended up talking about. We also kind of gave you a prototypical Wisconsin wedding on this particular Friday. It ended in tears and blood and on a Thursday to boot.
Be a great marriage.
So, yeah, I'm sure that's not cursed in any way, shape, or form, and those kids are going to get along just fine. And, of course, that leaves you with the floor, Big J.
Yeah, let's see. With the weekend coming up here, what are the rules for Halloween? When is this happening? When are we supposed to hand out candy?
I believe it's the Halloween night, right?
I know, but it's in the middle of the week.
Yeah, but it was last week, too, or last year, too, and it was fine.
I always get these things confused.
I think it depends on your particular community. There's tons of trunk-or-treating events. There's Boo at the Zoo this weekend. There's lots of places you can go, I believe, to get candy. And if you want to go trick-or-treating on the weekend, you can certainly do that and get it out of the way if you don't want to do it on what's it going to be, a Thursday night this year?
Yeah.
And
Wednesday,
so... No, Thursday.
Thursday.
But, and then you, of course, also, I believe it's okay to, go neighborhood trick-or-treating on Halloween proper. When I was a kid growing up, it was always the weekend closest to Halloween.
All right.
Sometimes before, sometimes after, but I do believe there's different rules depending on your community. I bet you'll get trick-or-treaters. I don't think this weekend. I think they're all community events. You'll probably get them on Halloween proper.
Boy, Lincoln's going to go crazy all night long.
Do you get a lot of kids in the Middleton area?
We haven't really, but we've got, I think, in the last 6 or 7 months, there's been a lot of turnover in the neighborhood, and so we might have some new kids. I mean, we might have some next door, so we'll see how that goes, but...
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well, whatever you're doing this weekend, have a safe and awesome one. We will see you on Monday. Jason Drew's up next. It's the X Rocks.